So, apparently, I'm having major technical difficulties. It wouldn't be Johnny Hopper if that wasn't the case. I got my nephew in here who freaking told me that I should have been a sniper because of the sheer fact that I didn't flinch at all. So, you guys probably know that I am in my TRD Pro truck, and unfortunately, there's some stuff that has happened with my family, so I am remote, but I figured, freaking A, the show must go on, and I see it's freaking loading again. It says I have an excellent stream, but I'm effing WFO. We are doing this again. So, my thumbnail. Deegan got screwed. And why did he get screwed? It's because of the way the rules are written. The kid was 9 seconds out front, was leading half the moto, and what ended up happening? Well, they did a restart, and he ended up being too aggressive to Tom Vial, arguably maybe the wrong rider, because he should maybe be aggressive towards the three guys that are ahead of him. You know, I believe it's Joe Shimoda, Cooper, and Hunter, because he's about a moto and a half behind everybody before what happened with the restart. I do like AMA and MX Sports for the sheer fact that they did stop the race to make sure the rider's okay. I haven't done much info yet. That's what I'm planning on doing for my upcoming videos, to find out what actually happened and see if that guy's okay. So if you guys know in the comments, please let me know. But it's important that they stop the race. However, let's dive a little bit into the points, and hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about when it comes to the points. And if you guys can see my screen, this is page 13 of the 2023 motocross rules, and I will start with number C as far as restart procedures. Should a race be stopped after 20 minutes have elapsed, the race is considered over and complete. And Deegan had less than 6 minutes before he won that moto, and he was 10 seconds ahead. Even if it was going to go full duration, he was going to win that moto. And he was just a couple laps, because they're doing around 2 minutes a lap time. He was 3 laps from winning that, from having the tide turn to be back on Deegan as far as, hey, I'm bringing the pressure. It is happening. And then the restart happened. Well, what happens in Supercross when a decent amount of time expires? Well, they do a staggered start. Not in moto. Let's start with number B, okay? And that rule is riders will be staged based on their position the lap prior to the red flag. That is after 2 laps have been complete. So it's a gray area there. 2 laps to 20 minutes, you guys start back where you were. The only difference is if you weren't the first qualifier and you were running 5th place, well, now you're going to get a 5th place gate pick. If you were first place but you weren't the first qualifier, you're going to get a first gate pick position. And if you were first qualifier but you were running 10th, you're going to get a 10th place position. I do think that little Deegan was doing everything he could, being aggressive. He was doing everything that he should have done to try to win a championship, and it's exciting to see, because the 450 class wasn't that exciting. I'll talk about it just in a little bit, because it was in Moto 2. And if we're continuing with that 250 class, look at Justin Cooper. Fastest lap time, lap 17. This is arguably 35 minutes into the moto, 30 to 35 minutes into the moto, and he's got his fastest lap time. On what planet are these guys able to do this? Go ahead, Sammy. In the 450 class, you've got Chase Sexton doing a 158 on that last charge, which that was awesome. There's been a few races that have been epic to watch. It has been the race with Ken Roczen at High Point. It has been the last race at Unadilla with Moto 1 with Chase Sexton, and it has been the second moto here at BUDDS Creek. And Sexton, man, this guy is just riding like Deegan, who is a minor, 17, full of aggression, just going, and starts making mistakes. That is Sexton's only problem, is he's making mistakes. And speaking of making mistakes, make sure you don't make one when you need to ship large quantity of anything that's heavy, whether if it's a skid steer, a tractor, you're building a track. Kevin Moran's, if you need stuff delivered, Precision Transport will certainly help you out. They are a friend of the channel. Their number is 877-827-0618. They sponsor a lot of the riders, and they are a #1 freight company here in America. Make sure you give them a buzz. They will get back to you quickly, and they ship all across the country. So let me get back to my bigger portion of the screen here, and now you have me here. Sexton, we've all said it. Kid just needs to slow down to go fast, and he might win more stuff, but I feel like he is frustrated. He is frustrated that you've got a rider coming up and his brother that is taking your ride. Yeah, he's going to KTM. I know they won't officially say it, but that's freaking what I have heard. And he keeps making mistakes. Moto 1, he got to start ahead of Jet, and that's what he needed to do. At Unadilla, would it have been a different race if he would have gotten the whole shot ahead of Jet? Maybe. The perfect season might not have happened, because that was the perfect opportunity, because Jet wasn't going to push the limits in Unadilla because he had everything to lose. He had a giant 6-figure to 7-figure bonus check, more like, what is that, 7 figures probably, for winning the motocross championship. I know motocross isn't as heavily weighed as supercross. However, from what I've heard about his agent, Myrtle, that it was probably a pretty big check. So if he was going to beat him, it was there in Unadilla. In Budds Creek, he's got nothing to lose. Now, he's just going to go down in the record books if he wins 2 more motos. But you can also argue the sheer fact that, hey, this is only 11 race series as opposed to Carmichael and Stewart's 12 race series, because now they've changed it because of the Super Motocross playoffs, which I'll talk one small little thing about that as well. But, also, my buddy Cooksey, he made a video about the different riders when those guys were going perfect season, which was interesting. I really did like that. And the Super Motocross, did you guys see my TikTok and what happened on the Moto 60 podcast, saying that the money, the $1 million, the $500,000 for the 250 are going to the teams? It's not really going to affect the privateers that much, because a privateer is going to be on their own team. So if they finish 20th and they make 12 grand, it's going to go to them. But somebody like a Tomac or a Jet, they win the big kahunas, and the $1 million, well, that's going to HRC Honda to potentially offset costs of them going racing. I asked the question, why didn't anybody know about this till the end? Is it because it might have been considered bad press? It might not have filtered as well the World Supercross and everything. They're like, hey, look at all the money we're bringing in if it's going to the teams. I'm all for the teams. The teams have to stay around. You got to make sure that they keep coming back. However, this seemed kind of like the whole Mad TV, Flow Motorsports, why isn't everyone being involved and kind of knowing what's going on? Let's be transparent. And it sucks that even the factory guys are not going to get as big of a check because it's going to the team. And then it would be up to the team to maybe cut them a bonus or whatever. And the purse money is actually going to be a lot better, because I think winning a Supercross is like around $16,000 for the purse money, and now it's going to be bumped to $100,000. That's great. It's still not freaking the best. But hey guys, I've got some gnarly stuff that's happening, so I need to let you go. And hey, everyone that is stuck around while I'm doing this, this level of quality is not something that I pride myself on, so don't get used